All right, good morning, everybody from Foxx Lanes in Waukesha, Wisconsin. So this is the PBA Foxx Lanes Open. I'm $2 Phil Brylo taking you through the day. Thanks for joining us. We are underway with our first game of Advancers round. Here on 1 through 4, you have Marshall Kent, Chad Moss, Ryan Zagar, Landon Jordan. Marshall Kent, your leading qualifier, plus 243. He's on that pairing with Chad Moss. Moss second place with 194 to the positive. Ryan Zagar plus 190. And you see Zagar and Kent talking. They're former teammates at Robert Morris University in Chicago back in their collegiate days. Young man that hasn't even made it to college yet, Landon Jordan, great PBA ambassador. He's fourth after qualifying at plus 186. 4 games in this qualifying round, then we'll cut to our top 8. And once again, you can follow any of your favorite players all day long on the pair feeds that are also provided to you on the PBA YouTube channel. Just open up the description in your video, and you'll be able to see all the feeds available to you. Right-click on those feeds as you'll be able to open a second tab. Keep us on here in the main feed. We get some special guests, and we talked a lot to Neil Stremmel, PBA Director of Rules and Equipment, yesterday about these QubicaAMF string pins. What research is being done by the PBA for them, how the decision-making process is going to be if they're allowed in official PBA competition. Right now, this is just what we call a research regional. No official title awarded, no RPI points for the season-long Regional Players Invitational point list as well, but a $5,000 check and a heck of a nice trophy goes home with the winner from this weekend. EJ Tackett, your number 5 qualifier, at plus 183. Brent Boho on his pair at plus 169 in 6th. Josh Blanchard bowling with Matt Gasson. Blanchard 7th for the former PBA Touring Pro at plus 161. And Gasson, who you see stepping in on the approach. Gasson 8th at plus 133. And 8th would be the advancing position after this 4-game round is complete. And all throughout the day today, and especially in the stepladder finals today, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, or Central Time, pardon me, 1:30 Central. We'll give you some up close and personal looks at the pinfall on these QubicaAMF Edge string pin setters, as we saw there for Blanchard. Over to 9 through 12, Luke Switalski is your number 9 qualifier. Switalski at plus 125. Switalski crossing with Kevin McCune. McCune 10th after qualifying, plus 123. There you see Brett Dowell 11th at plus 111. And Dowell crossing with Trey Heinrichsmeyer. Heinrichsmeyer ended the day yesterday for his 8 games qualifying at plus 104. Dowell not having a quality start this morning. 3 opens in the first 4 frames. Dowell, the sole lefty, advancing out of qualifying yesterday. And now everything slices by the 8-pin, and the struggles continue for Dowell. And with this short 4-game sprint, sure, Dowell only started the day 22 pins behind, but starting at 44 in the 4th, you know you've lost even more to an advancing position at that time. Great toss by McCune. Let's get to our final 4 here in the advancers round. 13 and 14. Matthew Hibbard in danger of missing the cut yesterday. Was outside the number after his 7th game of 145. Hibbard kicked himself in the backside, brought it back for game 8, started with the front 7, ended with 278. And that has Hibbard at a total of plus 99. And in the 13th position after qualifying, A.J. Johnson 14th, just a pin behind. And that one needed the 70-foot lane. Johnson had some struggles early yesterday, came back with 3 strong last games to get into the advancers round at plus 98. Dave Bear is in 15th. He's crossing with Stefan Hanen. Hanen, a proprietor here at Fox View Lanes. Made his first PBA regional cut this weekend. Guess a little home cooking helped. Sleeping in your own bed. And Hanen, even though he goes high on that shot, Hanen at plus 57. He's going to need some big games against this big gun of a field, and unfortunately for Hanen right now, he's looking at his 3rd open in the first 6 frames. His first advancement in the PBA Day 2 competition might be a short one at this rate. We're going to get back down to 1 and 2 momentarily after Hanen attempts the 3, 6, 7, 10, fails to convert. As we have a couple players with hot hands down here. There you see Chad Master with the front 6 for single pin spare in the 7th. Marshall Kent working on a 6-bagger after a first frame open. And once again, these players on the 44-foot Carmen Salvino pattern. Kent and Maas apparently working quite well together this early in the day. Hey, do us a favor on your social media. Hit let everybody know you're watching free PBA bowling with some of the biggest stars on the PBA Tour. Hit that share button on your video, share it to all your social media. Kent look at the bounce back off that single pin spare. Once again, $5,000 on top. For the victory here today. So a couple of big games looking to happen here for Moss and Kent as they try to get themselves a little gap over the rest of the field. Pinfall carries through all morning and afternoon long until we get to our step ladder. So every pin matters. No match play involved today, just straight pinfall. Through our 4 games of this advancers round and our 3 games in the round of 8. So for those of you double tapping us, players will be skipping a pair, landing on the second after their opening game. So the players you see here on 1 and 2, they'll move to 5 and 6. 3 and 4 goes to 7 and 8. And up on the high end, 13 and 14 will go to 1 and 2. 15 and 16 will go to 3 and 4. That way you can follow your favorite player all morning long. Game 1 almost in the books. After player movement, that means Game 2 will be coming up next. PBA Foxx Lanes Midwest Open coming to you from Waukesha, Wisconsin. I want to thank our season-long sponsors, the 2025 PBA LBC National Championships. Get all your tournament information about how you can try to take down a lot of prize money and maybe even have a chance to make that PBA LBC Clash. All your tournament info, pba.com/LBC tournament. And H5G Brands, they've been our great sponsor all season long as well. And they're celebrating fall with a site-wide sale, 35% off. Almost everything on this website. Limited exceptions do apply. You don't even need a coupon code at the checkout. That sale goes on through October 15th, h5gbrands.com. And I want to thank our local sponsors that helped add to the prize fund this weekend, including Master Machine Company, Certix Decorating, and the Waukesha USBC. And, of course, we want to thank our host center here, Foxx Lanes. Every Friday night here at Foxx, live music. Always good to get out and have a good fish fry here at Foxx and jam the night away. Check out what bands are coming into play on the Foxx Lanes Facebook page. Game 2 coming up next. If you have any questions for Neil Stremmel, Director of Rules and Equipment for the PBA, we'll get Neil in here during the round of 8 this morning, a little later today. Throw those questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to ask Neil. It doesn't specifically have to be about these QubicaAMF string pin setters. These edge pin setters have been running well all weekend. Get the occasional tangle, but it's no different than getting the occasional pin jam. And these machines are programmed that most of those problems can be fixed by the machine itself. We'll get you started off here with our leaders from yesterday. Marshall Kent, Chad Maas on 5 and 6. Ryan Zagar, Landon Jordan on 7 and 8. 2-8-10, that's one of those spares that I know Neil Stremmel is going to be looking at as we get through. And one of the always concerns is, is the string going to cause a pinfall? You see right there the string from the 2-pin dangling near and in front of the 8-pin, but nowhere close to making contact. And that issue of strings causing pinfall has been so minimized by the design of this QubicaAMF pin setter. Sure, it does happen on occasion. We're not going to say it doesn't. Saw it last week during the stepladder finals. Looked like there's a mystery fall on the 6-pin on a super washout conversion by Kyle Troop. The head pin came back out of the pit and hit the 10, but looked like nothing got near the 6 even though it fell. But USBC rules when dealing with string pin setters is that if the string causes pinfall, it counts. So, but we have not seen a lot of that this weekend. No doubt there by Marshall Kent. He's making sure the head pin took care of the 610. Great conversion there by Kent. Yeah, once again, you can see those strings, all those pins that moved to the left, the string stayed to the left. No chance of any additional pinfall for Landon Jordan on that shot. See what Kent can do here, looking for his first strike of game two. And there's a spinning messenger. How about that? Take the messenger off the milk carton. It's been found by Marshall Kent. Oh, yeah, that'll definitely be highlight reel. There's been a few of those this weekend. We haven't had to put out a full white alert yet. I mean, white. The pins are white, so I guess you call it a white alert. When something's missing. A young child, it's an amber alert. Older person, it's a silver alert. So I guess it'd be a white alert for the pins, for messengers missing. You can cancel that. Maybe we call it a wood alert. Yeah, it's called a wood alert. Get rid of the wood alert as the messenger took down the 10 for Kent in the third. Now throw another strike on there in the fourth. Scoring link pinned up to the top of your chat here on the PBA Bowling YouTube channel. Let's give you your standings after 9 games. Marshall Kent, your leader, plus 287. Chad Moss, second, plus 240. EJ Tackett up in the third now after a 237 opening game. Plus 220. Landon Jordan, fourth. 214 opening effort has Jordan at plus 200. Brent Boho, fifth, plus 194. Josh Blanchard, 186 to the positive. Ryan Zagar, 181, falls a few pins after throwing 191 the opening game. And Kevin McCune with a nice jump after a 244 start for McCune. McCune gets to plus 167. He'd be the last advancing spot this morning if we stopped after one game, but there's 4 total games in this advancers round this morning. As we said, Zagar, 191 opening game, looking to bounce that around real quick, stay in the top 8. Pinfall does carry over from round to round. Once again, if you're watching us here in the main feed, it's the first time you're joining us on PBA Bowling's YouTube channel. We do have our main feed here. We follow the leaders, follow some hot hands if somebody's going for perfection in a particular game. That's why we do have all the pair feeds available to you. Every pair in play, in coverage here on PBA YouTube. Just open up the description of the video that you're watching. You'll see those links to the other 4 feeds. Find your favorite player, follow them all round long. And right-click on those other feeds, open it up in a new tab, so we keep us on here in the main feed. We can give you some stats. If somebody is putting up a big game, you'll hear about it, and then you can switch back over and watch between your favorite player shots. As Landon Jordan puts up a double, what a remarkable resume Landon Jordan's put up in his young career. One of those players that, you know, once he's complete with college, if he does take that route, not everybody goes to college, not everybody finds college bowling's for them. But he definitely would be one of those players you'd see trying to get out on the PBA Tour. No remnants of pins, strings, any evidence on that shot by Zagar. And he has a couple of doubles surrounding that third frame spare. These players all came into the weekend knowing it wasn't going to be an official PBA regional title if they won. They know they weren't accumulating any regional player invitational points. For this event, but when you have a $5,000 check on top and a beautiful trophy to take home for the victory, kind of offsets the unofficialness of this event. Yeah, Mott's not happy with the push away. He's having a little laugh about what Zagar, like, yeah, what are you doing, Chad? My goodness. So, hey, thanks to everybody up bright and early this morning. We know some of you that might be tuning in from the West Coast might be having breakfast going on the stove while you're watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Let your friends and family know that there is free PBA bowling to watch today here on PBA YouTube. I'm $2 Phil Brylo. 10 on the Deck Productions, my company, is producing us in conjunction with the PBA. So thanks to an agreement between the PBA and 10 on the Deck, they're letting 10 on the Deck stream to the PBA YouTube channel, so that way we get a chance to have many PBA fans tune in. Normally we get the stream to the PBA regional Facebook pages, and, you know, as I said many times in the past, our regional members are the bread and butter, the heart and soul of the PBA. There's over 4,000 PBA members. Maybe 5% of those players bowl in a national tour level event during a season. But these players that are weekend in and weekend out, battling it out at the regional level, you have some real quality players out there. See the question about watching EJ in the chat. EJ right now is on lanes 9 and 10, so you want to look in the description of the video you're watching now here in the main feed, and then right-click on the link for lanes 9 through 12, and that will open up the pair EJ is currently on in a new tab. And that way we can tell you where player movement is. Keep us open here in the main feed as we give you score updates and let you know where bowlers may be moving to after every particular game of the round this morning. So hopefully that helps you out with finding your favorite player. I know a lot of players are interested in watching EJ or Marshall, Josh Blanchard, some tour level players here as well. A.J. Johnson. See what Zagar can do here, looking to put up another double. Does so successfully. I mean, it's not what you're shooting for as a bowler, but, I mean, double nine, double nine, double nine, and striking out in the 10th, or double nine again. You know, has you in the 220s, 230s. Nothing wrong with that. The scoring pace in this event, you're not going to lose any pins to the field putting a 220 on the board. Might not catch up to the leaders, but mentioned McCune in 8th. He'd be the last advancing spot. A little gap between McCune and Matt Gasson. McCune at 167 to the positive. Gasson plus 139. Luke Switalski plus 134. Trey Heinrichsmeyer plus 122. Dave Barris plus 114. Matt Hibbard plus 104. Brent Dowell, we saw Dowell struggles the opening game. Dowell falls back to plus 79. A.J. Johnson plus 78. Johnson trying to make a run. We'll get down to Johnson towards the end of his second game. Johnson at plus 78. And our host, Stephen Haanen, struggles in game 1, drops Haanen back to plus 8. Moss currently in second. He needs to stop the bleeding. A couple opens, offsets that 3 in a row from the 3rd through the 5th. Still get to 210. Wow, and how about that for Zagar? Sends a couple of pins towards the 7. And nothing takes it down. Marshall Kent currently 47 pin advantage after 9 games of total competition over Moss, and looking to extend that here. Kent's maximum score 257. Oh, smash 7. Oof. That's one to the solar plexus. That'll bring your breakfast back up a little bit. And Kent with the cover. No match play in this round. I'm going to check those feeds, and if they are not going to the correct rounds, I apologize. Yeah, we'll get somebody on that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. All right, looks like we got that link fixed to 9 through 12. Appreciate that being brought to our attention. That was in the description here on our main feed. We got a lot of feeds we're putting out there this weekend. Apologize for having that mistake on that one. We always strive for perfection here at 10 on the Deck Productions, working in conjunction with the PBA. So player movement here after Game 2 into Game 3 for those of you that are following your favorite player as they go around. Will be skip 2 pairs and land on the 3rd. So the bowlers you see here on 5 and 6, they're going to move over to 11 and 12. 7 and 8 moves to 13 and 14. Players that are on 11 and 12 this game will move down to 1 and 2. 15 and 16 will move to 5 and 6. And so on. See if Moss. No, he's actually going for the spare. Wasn't sure if he was going to try to do an area check there or maybe try a different piece of equipment for some reconnaissance. Didn't happen. Give you a close-up look here on Jordan's fill ball. Yeah, that Messenger misses the 10. Good place for that 7-10 for Landon Jordan. And we'll round out our Game 2 coverage. With Matthew Hibbert, A.J. Johnson, Dave Barras, and Stefan Hainan. Barras trying to keep the climb going. Went from 15th to 12th after one game. That 222 might get him up a couple more spots, but he's still going to need about 50 more pins the last two games over some great players in the field, like Kevin McCune, Josh Blanchard, E.J. Tackett, and Marshall Kent, to try to get into that round of 8. Later this morning, scheduled time for that round of 8. Roughly 11:30 a.m. We should be right on time for that. 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Those of you watching east of us, it'll be 12:30 p.m. in your Eastern time zone. Player movement, Game 3 coming up next. right, we're going to stick with our leaders early on here in Game 3. Marshall Kent and Chad Moss. They're on 11 and 12. Dave Bear is starting to try to climb back up in the top 8. Good start for Bears this morning, plus 68 for 2. Stephen Hayden having some early morning struggles. He's going to try to finish off as strong as possible. No quitting that young man. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this morning. I'm $2 Phil Brylow taking you through the day today until we crown our champion this afternoon. After this advances round is complete. Short break. You'll have new streams for the round of 8. That's scheduled to begin 11:30 a.m. Central Time. And after 3 games of that round of 8, we'll have our top 4. And those top 4 battle out the stepladder starting at 1:30 p.m. Central Time today. Here's your top of the leaderboard after 10 games, 8 yesterday, 2 this morning. And also, you can get these game-by-game scoring updates yourself through the live scoring link pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. Marshall Kent, plus 312, your leader. He stretched out his advantage over Chad Moss to almost 80 pins. Moss second at plus 235. Landon Jordan, EJ Tackett, both tied at plus 214 for the 3-4 spots. Kind of unique this morning. Landon Jordan with games of 214 and 214 to get to plus 214. Something you don't see that very often on a leaderboard. Josh Blanchard in 5th. Blanchard making a nice little climb this morning on games of 225 and 224 to get to plus 210. Ryan Zagar holds tough in 6th at plus 207. Kevin McCune 8th, plus 178, and Brent Boho falls back. Pardon me, McCune in 7th at plus 178. Boho 8th at plus 171. Boho in the last advancer spot at the moment, but just outside the numbers. Luke Switalski at plus 160. Then a few pins back, Matt Gass and Dave Barris both at plus 136. Matt Hibbert plus 131. Trey Heinrichsmeyer 120 to the positive. A.J. Johnson at plus 100. And then Brent Dowell and Stephen Hanen, barring perfection for both games. The last 2 games, looks like Dow and Hainan are going to be done with their tournament competition at the conclusion of this advancers round. Here's the thing. I have my feed set on our ambient microphone for what I usually have it at free fall centers. These string pin machines not only run quieter, but the pinfall isn't as loud in volume when the pins are hit. I can't explain it. It might be partially from the masking unit. It might just be the way the pits are set up with the curtains and such, that as much noise doesn't get reflected back to the pin deck area. But it's definitely a lot quieter in the bowling center overall. So that's why, I've got, the ambient mic, I got it pretty much pegged as high as I can with the gain. And, yeah, it's just the way the pinfall is on these edge string pin setters. It is a quieter bowling center. You have to be careful when balls aren't being shot because there's no extra noise coming in from the pins. Once the pins are set, the machine's dormant. So it's kind of a unique setting. For this event, we had the same thing last week in Bluffton. So I'm not pushing string pins. We're here at a bowling center with string pins. It's a research regional. There's research being done. We had Neil Strummel in the booth a couple times yesterday talking about what he and the PBA are looking for when it comes to possibly approving these pin setters for PBA competition, whether it's at the regional level, the national level, both. So we're not pushing it. It's a scheduled event. We're here. I live 12 minutes up the road. Easy for me. I get a home game. I get to sleep in my own bed for a PBA regional tournament live streaming. This is the 10th one I've done this year. Nice being able to sleep at home. So, not pushing it. I've watched a few thousand shots go down the lane over the last couple of weekends, let's be honest. Are they perfect? No. Are they better than the originals? Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely. It's something that's going to be part of the game from here on out, whether people want to accept that fact. Neil Sturmel had a great analogy yesterday about, look at every bowling center the PBA goes to at the national level, and a majority of them, more than 90% of them, at the regional level. Synthetic lanes. How many people back in the day when synthetic lanes were first approved hollered and screamed, "Oh, I'm not bowling on those plastic lanes. Oh, it's not happening." Where are we at now? New bowling centers that are being built don't have wood lanes. They're all synthetics. So it's just another revolution in the game. And nobody says they're perfect. Boy, I remember bowling on some of those original synthetics at Red Carpet South here in Milwaukee back when I was a youth bowler. You could do things with a bowling ball and synthetic back then with polyester balls that you couldn't do today with resin. You could really find some friction on those early synthetics. Landon Jordan, you see the big string Jordan has currently. Sitting in that tie for third with E.J. Tackett. Well, tied no more. Barring Tackett going off the sheet to get in the 250s, and Jordan throwing a couple of spares. Hey, you never know what might happen. We'll get back over to our top two here with Marshall Kent having a big game. Chad Moss having some struggles. Finally made something happen on lane 12. It was open on that lane prior to that. Yeah, Moss does have that second place position in hand currently. Problem is he's only 64 pins up on 8th. It's still pretty quick. And anybody that's in 2nd through 8th can work their way out of that top 8 here in the remainder of Game 3 and going into Game 4. Let's take a peek in at a couple players, one in, one out of the top 8 right now. Luke Switalski will be first man out. And with Switalski at plus 160 in 9th, and that open frame is not going to help the cause. Kevin McCune's had a nice climb this morning. Games at 244, 211 as McCune up into 7th. And Gasson throws the 3 in front of the 7. Gasson's in 10th at plus 136. Josh Blanchard sitting in 5th. A good start for Blanchard this morning, 225, 224. That's Blanchard at plus 210. And McCune takes them all down. McCune with a great cover on the big 4. This past event at Easy Bowl in Bluffton. We'll take a peek back at Bluffton momentarily. As he's going to need some help on that 4-10. 2 came off the sideboard, didn't quite get to the 4. And Blanchard with the cover. There you go from last week at Easy Bowl. 4 out of the pit into the 10, 10 into the 6. Boom. They go. For McCune, you see the ecstatic reaction because McCune missed the cut last week. At Easy Bowl didn't advance to Sunday's competition. Let's get back over to Kent. As Blanchard didn't take the 10 out. Marshall Kent does. Spare. And so Kent's still looking at a game in the 240s. And a nice comeback here by Chad Moss, as those 3 open frames and the odd numbered frames, 1, 3, and 5, could have really devastated his game. But found something in the 7th, kept striking on the left lane, and still a chance for 215 for Moss to make a save and keep himself entrenched in the top 8. And you can tell there was not happy with that miss. And Haanen still hanging tough, trying to make the charge out of that 16th position. Great game by Jordan. 247 gets Jordan. It's plus 261. That should keep him easily in the top 4. especially with Tackett only being able to put a maximum of 210 on the board. And Josh Blanchard and Ryan Zagar not having big games here in Game 3. Zagar still 223. Oh, another one coming in with the spew. Customers don't want string pins. Well, nobody wants higher gas prices, and nobody really wants gefilte fish. Why don't you try it, though? Gefilte fish, not bad. Not bad at all. And if you have bowling centers near you that don't have the certified string pin machines, yeah, it's not even in a comparison in pinfall to free fall, but these here. Oh, a little rattle for Zagar, but pinfall doesn't complete. I know in the center they have a lot of league bowlers. And it's the same ones they had last year when they had free fall. Last night after we were done with qualifying, as we get a great view of the back of our host proprietor's head. Does have that full head of hair. That's good to see for Stefan Hanen. We'll get back over to 15 and 16. No loss of league bowlers. Last night, full house of couples league. People having a great time. The drinks were flowing on the bar. Not trying to sell anything. What else am I going to look at this weekend for pinfall? It's all strings. It's not like we have a center that's half string, half free fall. I'm not paid by QubicaAMF. I'm not paid by the PBA. I'm putting this live stream on myself. I'm lucky enough to have the PBA carried on their YouTube channel. I mean, my 10 on the Deck Productions company, we live stream other regionals. We always have to chase down our own sponsors. I mean, I had to chase down sponsorship with the PBA LBC National Championship. They don't just hand those sponsorships out. H5G Brands has been with us for quite a few years now between our live streaming here and now our local television broadcasting in Milwaukee. Bowler X has been with us for a long time as well. Bowler X supporting Striking Out Breast Cancer in October. Check out all the details at bowlerx.com. And then we have some great local sponsors that helped us with this prize fund. $5,000 on top for a regional. It's a pretty good weekend's worth of work. And those great sponsors we have are Master Machine Company, along with Certix Decorating, and the Waukesha USBC. And once again, we want to thank our host center, Fox View Lanes. Come on down. Check out the live music on Friday nights. Get yourself a fish fry. And enjoy some bowling once your fish fry is done. Player movement for your final game of this advancers round is going to be simply just one pair to the right. So 5 and 6 will go to 7 and 8. 15 and 16 will go to 1 and 2. Great cover there by Matt Hibbard. Get you a 11-game scoring update when we come back, and we'll keep following some of the players at the top, and we'll follow those players around the cut number as well as the PBA Foxx Lanes Midwest Open rolls on. I'm $2 Phil Brilo taking you through until we crown our champion after the step ladder today, 1:30 p.m. Central Time. Your start for that step ladder. All right, we are on to game 4. Let's check in as our leaders are underway. Marshall Kent, strike open. Chad Moss, the carry struggles still continue. Should have our 11-game scoring update coming across the wire pretty quick. As Toby Contreras is tracking down the last couple of scores. And you do have that live scoring link, game by game, pinned to the top of your chat. Oh, Deuce. Brian Ducey, good to see you in the chat again, buddy. Yeah, I'll fully back you up on that last comment 100%. All the work you do for veterans with the sport of bowling, and yeah, you're a good man. Good man. It's good to see you yesterday. And thanks for tuning in this morning. Thanks for everybody that shared on social media. Hit that share button on the feed you're watching and let everybody know. I mean, there are other bowling options out there this weekend on live streams. There's another PBA regional event that Bowl TV is streaming for the PBA 50 East RPI at Rippick's Carousel Lanes in New York. But you need a subscription for that. There's a couple other amateur events, high-level amateur events, streaming on YouTube. But we are bringing you some of the best players in the world. Nobody else has got Marshall Kent and EJ Tackett under the same roof to go with AJ Johnson, Josh Blanchard, Kevin McCune. I mean, we have 5 PBA Tour titleists here. We have numerous players that are multiple-time regional tour titleists as well. And we've got some of the best amateur players in southeastern Wisconsin. Got a couple of those in the field as well. So good mix of players, good mix of styles. As we are in our final game of Advancers Round competition. Before we get to our cut to the top 8, those players will have their pinfall carry over. As they try to make their way to the step ladder after 3 additional games. Once again, start time, we should be on time for the 11:30 a.m. Central Time start for Advancers Round. Got you peeked down on the low end of the center now. Brent Boho, EJ Tackett. Boho was the number after 10 games in 8th position. EJ Tackett was in the tie for 3rd with Landon Jordan. Tackett should still be in the top 5. Jordan popped a big game. Matt Gasson, he's had a bit of a rough morning. Gasson fell down to 11th. Hey, take the messenger off the milk carton. That was one with authority right there. Can we see a flex, Matt? Can we see a little flex? Come on. Even EJ Tackett, look at that. The high five from Tackett on that one. You have to throw it well to get a messenger on these edge string pins. And I'll tell you what, it's fun watching the players take a little bit of pride when they get one. They know they've thrown the ball exceptionally well to get the messenger to come back across on what would normally be a half pocket hit, a flat 10. And Blanchard gets them all to go. Boy, for a guy that really doesn't get a chance to bowl that, yeah, EJ goes, screw it, I don't need a messenger. I'll take it down the right way. You know, Josh busy with family. I've seen a lot of photographs he's posted to social media. I know one of his sons is highly involved in ninja activities, ninja games like American Ninja Warrior, running obstacle courses and such, and has gotten very good at those courses in a short period of time. So, I mean, between family and his work with QubicaAMF, you know, not a lot of time on the lanes for Josh, and not exactly the modern power game, the two-handed power game still. has the accuracy and the skill needed, however, to be competitive at the professional level. So good to see that for Josh here today. All right, Marshall Kent is your leader. And Brent Boho is still your man on the number. Let's give you a rundown here. Marshall Kent plus 344. You'll definitely see Kent in the round of 8. Landon Jordan plus 261. Jordan would have to try to jump the Snake River Canyon on a flaming rocket ship and fail to not make the next round. But then it bunches up real quick. EJ Tackett plus 212 in third. Ryan Ziegler fourth plus 207. Chad Maas falls down to fifth at plus 202. Let's get back over to Maas as he's going to be stepping up looking for a three-bagger. Kevin McCune, sixth, plus 183. Josh Blanchard falls to seventh after a 169 game in Game 3. Blanchard at plus 179. Brent Boho, as we said, man on the number for Boho. Great toss by Maas. Boho looking to convert the single pin. Boho at plus 174, and he's got a couple players right on his tail. Luke Switalski still first out, as Switalski 7 pins behind Boho at plus 167. Then a little gap back. Hibbert and Bears both at plus 142. A.J. Johnson plus 111 and Matt Gasson plus 100. And it looks like Gasson's day is going to be done relatively quickly. And that's not going to help matters any. Check back in on Zagar and Jordan, and not having a good time of it up on the high end. Back over to Blanchard. Blanchard, this turkey here would be huge for Josh as he tries to stay in the top 8. How about that? Parts the 1-3 pocket perfectly. So Boho and Blanchard 7-8. Let's get over to you peeking on what Switalski's doing here. He's coming up on lane 5. You'll see him coming in the left side of your screen. Switalski, an open, no doubles to this point, gets the first double of the game. And Switalski, as we said, 7 pins outside the number currently. How about that for Blanchard? Just pure. Now McCune looking for turkey of his own. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh, and the messenger in front of the 10. Huge shot there. For Boho, if that carries. Check in on Kent. As we said, big gap, almost 80 pins between Kent and Jordan. And Jordan having some struggles this game. Kent, yeah, that's a light shot anywhere. That's not going to carry that 7 pin out. And don't count A.J. Johnson out of this yet. as we'll get over to Johnson. Johnson on the front 4, coming in on lane 9. Johnson's at plus 111. Oh! And everything fights over the 7. Nothing takes it down. And that might be the end of the day, end of the run. For A.J. Johnson, struggled early in the run yesterday. Big fight back just to make it to today in the last 3 games. And Jordan just going to get 1 on that. And so that gap between Marshall Kent and Landon Jordan, even though it's not a great game for Kent, is going to increase. You always want to be that numero uno seed in the stepladder. You got some guaranteed money, and you only have to win that 1 match for the championship. There's no such thing as a commentator jinx. See? E.J. Tackett front 7 after I switched to him. There. Just like bowling, commentator good and bad breaks even out. Let's see what Blanchard can do here. He's punched his ticket for round 8 with this game. Looking for 6 in a row. And nope, Messenger's slow rolling and barely going to tap it. Tackett for the excellent 8th. He's asking at the wheel, and it does. Tackett currently in 3rd, plus 212. And looking to rise in the standings as Jordan's struggles this game. We should see a new player in 2nd. Can't catch Marshall Kent without a severe breakdown the last part of the game by Kent. Bo needs to get a double going here. Switalski's having some struggles, though. This will put a little more pressure on Switalski before Switalski's half of the 8th frame. We'll go down to lane 5 as Switalski steps up. 2-8 for Boho, but Boho's kept his score sheet clean. Switalski 2 opens. He's going to need to punch to get past Boho. Well, you got to start the string with 1. Boho does that. McCune currently in 6th. Looking to assure his spot in the top 8. Shots like that for the last 3 frames will definitely do that. As McCune currently at plus 183 coming into this final advancers round game and can put 238 on the board with a full punch. Unfortunately for Matt Gasson, his day is done. I'm sure he's going to go back to top-notch bowling inside of Fox 3 Lanes, the pro shop here that he owns, and I'm sure he'll be punching out a couple balls for customers, maybe even making some adjustments for some of the players still in the field. If you're in the greater southeastern Wisconsin area and looking for some great assistance, he's helped us out with our new show, Brew City Bowling Show. It starts on My 24 Milwaukee on October 26th, providing bowling lessons to those who fail to get a mark in 4 frames of competition on TV. So I want to thank Matt for that support, and check out Top Notch Bowling on Facebook. He's posted some great ball reviews, some great advice, and give Top Notch Bowling a follow. I have. So E.J. Tackett stepping up shortly on the front end. We'll get back to him when he comes up. Let's check in on Kent. Falls behind, but Kent still would be your leader with a mark in the 10th, regardless if EJ goes for the full ride. Zagar hanging tough. He's 4th, but just plus 207. He's only 33 up on the number. So Zagar needs to make sure he finishes strong to advance. And EJ Tackett. Will we get a nasty 9th in a row? Oh, it's just nasty. Just nasty. Making it happen. Well, we mentioned Switalski. Still can give Boho a fight. Switalski struck in the 9th. Can still get 208 on the board. That would force Boho to get 202. And after that open frame. Oh, the messenger's going to get in front of the 10, not take it down. I'm sorry, Boho did convert the spare. Now Boho just is going to need a mark in the 10th to keep enough pins. Blanchard, he's in. McCune will stay in. McCune's already in the 2-0 range, even with an open in the 10th. And Tackett, unfortunately, has his steering end with a vicious 4-9. So Tackett will definitely be advancing. He'll be your 2 seed. Getting into the round of 8. There you see Switalski coming into your picture. Switalski does get the spare, so his max score right now is 187. Hibbert's not going to have enough. Oh, it just got interesting. Let's get back to Switalski. Yeah, Bears isn't going to have enough either. A.J. Johnson, I don't think can get there. So we have 187. That takes Switalski down to plus 154. Boho needs pin. A pin. For a tie, 2 to stay ahead. So just getting the 2-8 on this conversation, or this conversion attempt, which he does. So it's 183, it's minus 17. That leaves him at 157. Zagar, 168. Zagar loses 32. Plus 175, that's still enough. It's checking on A.J. Johnson. And AJ goes high, and that's going to end the chance. AJ could have gotten the 240. Now he's going to be in the 230s, and yeah, that's not going to be enough. 230 for AJ won't be enough. Kent 179 falls back. Moss stays in. So unofficially, in no particular order, Kent, Landon Jordan, EJ Tackett, Ryan Zagar, Chad Moss, Kevin McCune, Josh Blanchard, Brent Boho, no particular order for your finish. So we're going to end the streams for the moment. You'll have new streams come up for the round of 8. That coverage scheduled to start at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. We may be live a couple of minutes earlier. So please have your notifications on for the PBA YouTube channel. And that way, when we go live, you'll be able to see all the round of 8 action. 3 games of competition to get us down to our final 4 for the step ladder. That step ladder is scheduled to start at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm $2 Phil Bryla. Thanks for joining us on the PBA YouTube channel. This is a production of 10 on the Deck Productions. No unauthorized use of this production without the express written consent of $2 Phil. We'll see everybody back here shortly from Fox View Lanes. And once again, thanks to the sponsors that made it happen for the weekend with Master Machine Company, Certix Decorating, Waukesha USBC, and BowlerX.com, and thanks to our season-long sponsors with H5G brands. Save 35% site-wide through October 15th. Some limited exceptions apply. H5Gbrands.com and the PBA LBC National Championships. Get your tournament information at pba.com/LBC tournament. 11:30 a.m., you're round 8. We'll start.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that completes the advancers round of 4 games. The top 16 from yesterday's qualifying made it to this round. They bowled their 4 games. The score sheets will be tabulated and brought to me, and we'll get a cut score because everybody's wanting to make that top 8, which will roll 3 more games before we cut to the top 4 for the step-ladder finals. Bowlers, I'd say you got 15 to 30 minutes. I'll have a better estimate after I know there's no tie and there's no roll-off required.